WBUZ HD3 Laverne. We are the Game Nashville Sports Network. ESPN 94.9. The Fan.
30 years of the best sports talk in Middle Tennessee. It's the George Plaster Show, featuring Tennessee Sports Hall of Famers Kelly Holcomb and young gun Billy Derrick. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome in. It is a beautiful Thursday in Nashville, Tennessee. As you can tell, we're not at the Ford Ice Center. This is going to be, by the way, an abbreviated edition of the show. We'll be with you until like 3:50, I believe, is the time. And then we will give way to Nashville Sound's doubleheader baseball. They had a rain out. Thus necessitating the scheduling quirk that came up today. Let's see where Billy is, first of all. Billy, are you there?
I am. You got me?
Well, that's wonderful. That's a lovely backdrop, yeah. Where's Kelly?
Kelly is here as well.
Is he? Oh, looky there. Hello, Mr. Muscles.
I'm ready, dog. What's up?
I'm good. I'm good. So is Danny with us yet?
He is.
Beautiful. Let's bring him up here. Danny?
Hi, guys.
How are you? Okay. So I've been reading all these texts you've sent me. You gotta tell people where you are.
Well, Kathy and I are spending a day away. We're just hanging out. Everybody's done it. It's just so relaxing. Lots of food, lots of calories. We went to the Pella, Iowa Tulip Festival this morning. A town of about 10,000 people, and about 60,000 people a day come for 4 days because the whole town plants tulips in front of their houses, have a festival. Kelly, George, Billy, great food. Oh my God. Pork tenderloins, all sorts of Dutch food. And then we drove to the Amana Colonies right outside of Cedar Rapids. Historic place, really amazing. And I'm here hanging with you guys, and Kathy's probably having more fun than us right now.
I don't doubt it. Okay, you want Confessions of a Sinner?
Let's go.
Okay, so today, because it's an abbreviated show, I'm at home. The rec room is above the rest of the of the house. It's a little bit higher elevated, and that would not necessarily be great for temperatures, except that I have an air conditioning unit up here. But there's just one problem with that, and that is we bought the wrong size bateria. So the batteries that are supposed to go in this thing, we don't have. It's about 106 up here. It's lovely. It's lovely weather.
Oh my!
Do you have any weights up there where you can at least try to get yourself in shape?
Why don't you go suck an egg or something?
It wouldn't hurt you to get in the weight room, Hoss.
And Kelly, I want you to know this is my off day every week. Thursday's my off day. So I didn't do anything in the gym this morning. I'm just hanging out in shorts and a hoodie. And you know what? It's pretty good to be me right now.
Nothing bad about that.
Yeah, you wouldn't say the things to him you say to me.
Correct. I like him.
I don't doubt it. So let me start, because obviously we're going to move a lot quicker today. We've sort of blown off Billy's update, although I think in a few minutes we're going to let him yap, kind of tell people what's going on. But you have a background that includes the Denver, Colorado area.
You bet. Absolutely.
And
lived there for 10 years.
Yeah, and for the second year in a row, we've got a Major League Baseball team that is on a historically biblical run of bad.
Yeah.
This This is really bad for the game. I mean, until they beat the Braves yesterday, they were like 4-25. And
Yeah, and George, they're just plain awful, and they've been awful for about. They have the most losses in the National League over the last 6-7 years. It's ineptitude, and without change, without any seemingly disagreeable part, they're just very passive about being bad. Which, for those of us in the sports world, all four of us, I mean, that's something I don't tolerate really well. I just think it's you got to try, and they haven't added new blood. They had a couple of really bad decisions, and now they're gun shy. But that franchise is awful right now. I think they are the worst franchise in baseball, and it's their own doing. They have just made a series of horrible decisions, and they compound them by telling people they're on the right track, and they're not on the right track. I mean, you just saw them play your Bravos, and they're awful. They're just awful, awful. And I have a lot of friends in Denver, Boulder, Colorado Springs that right now are speaking with their feet, and they're not using their season tickets. They're not going to the ballpark because it just doesn't merit their time, their money. And I think until that happens on a grand scale, I just don't think this franchise in Colorado is going to do anything about it. I mean, George, there's 15 and a half games out of first place on the 1st of May. That's almost impossible. And they've done a really good job of being that team. And before they won yesterday, they had the worst record. Kelly, check this out. They had the worst record in the history of the National League at that 29 game stage. I mean, that is really, really historically bad. It's not, it's not us saying they're bad and claiming they're bad. They're horrible bad, and they've got a chance to, I think, lose more games than the White Sox.
so tell me this. I know there's the problem of, boy, nobody in their right mind that's a decent pitcher wants to sign there because it's a nightmare with the conditions.
Mm-hmm.
That's not all of it, though, is it?
No, it's not. And I actually disagree with the pitching element because I've seen some great pitch games there. You just have to really focus on certain types of repertoires that are more capable of having success at altitude. About 15 rows from the top, guys, there's a purple row, and it's painted purple because it's at 5,280 feet. And when you live at elevation like I did for a decade, you start to realize, okay, it is different, but the use of four seamers, two seamers, the use of changeups, there's no difference. And you have more outfield than any other outfield in the major leagues, yet their outfield defense is awful. And their defense has been continuously awful. So, George, what happened, and I know you'll remember this, Mike Hampton was signed about 25 years ago, and he was a disaster. So was Denny Nagel. And ever since then, they're gun shy about making the next move. And in sports, you can't be risk averse to the point where you just avoid signing people because you'll never get better. So what they do is they draft poorly. They don't use analytics, which at altitude is almost criminal because you have to have a certain type of pitcher, not only repertoire wise, but analytically in order to succeed. They fail in that area miserably, and they have continuously for the last, I think, 7 years, they fielded the worst pitching staff in the game. And it's inexcusable. Remember, they traded Arenado. They got nothing for him. They didn't make any trades at the last two deadlines. So I never feel sorry for a team like that, George. And, Kelly, I mean, when you're bad and you don't do anything about it, you lose the sympathy vote for me. You're not trying. If you were trying and failing, but an example for the listeners, they signed Chris Bryant to a huge deal when nobody else was bidding that kind of money. And Bryant, who was brittle before the injury, can't post. He's played about a third of the games and he's been awful. His OPS is well below average. He's been unbelievably bad. And that will just make them even more gun shy. They don't draft well. They don't sign well. They don't participate in Asia. They don't participate in the Latin American countries. So as a result, they're deservedly horrible.
So
If you're,
Danny,
if you're gun,
go ahead, Kelly.
if you're gun shy like that, though, what does it matter? If you've been so bad, like don't you have to do something different?
You know, Kelly, that's my point. I think when the mix isn't working, when the recipe's not working, what do we all do? I mean, I love to cook. If it doesn't work, I add something and I goof around with something and I try to find another way of making it work. They just continue to use the same philosophy. They have the same staff. They haven't had a single staff member leave or hire from the outside in a decade. So as a result, they just churn ineptitude. And I don't want anyone to think that I have any hard feelings or anything. I don't. When I lived there, man, I love the ballpark. It's a fabulous ballpark. I would go there routinely. In fact, George, we did a show when I was
I
up in
remember it.
up in the
Up in the
bleachers.
stands. I loved it.
That's right. And it's a great place, but the problem is the ballpark is the only draw. There is no other reason to watch that team. They're historically bad and they're boring. And guys, for me in sports, we're entertainment. If you're bad, it's one thing, but if you're bad and you're not fun to watch, it starts to lose the entertainment value considerably. So, you know, Kelly, to your question, they don't try anything else. Why, I don't know, but I could never live with myself being this bad and not trying something from a risk standpoint to try to go better. You know, sign some players from Japan and Korea. They don't even scout over there. So it's like, okay, you're bad and you're not trying. I don't feel sorry for you whatsoever.
So, Danny, let me ask this really quick, and then Billy, get ready to do the quickest update in history. So we've got Colorado historically, biblically bad. The White Sox a year ago, same story. Is this going to eventually allow Major League Baseball to cram down the players' union? We got to have some cap.
George, I think it's ineptitude in the front office and the scouting. I don't think it has anything to do in either case with the dollars. The Rockies are in the top 15 in payroll. And, you know, it's not how much money you spend, it's who you spend it on. And if you don't draft well, you don't sign well, you don't acquire well, it doesn't matter what your payroll is, you're going to be bad. So no, I don't think it's going to play into it. I think this is an example of ineptitude. And in any business, ineptitude should never be rewarded. And it's, you know, in baseball, it's just so public when you're bad. And I think they're both deservedly really bad.
Billy, what do you got in the update world?
Well, this update, as always, brought to you by Lori Burnett Leland. You can find her online at mortgageladyyusa.com or give her a call, 615-969-4350. Well, the Lakers lose to Minnesota last night, and they are done. The big question is, will LeBron James come back next year? I would assume he does, but that's the debate today on all the shows.
Kelly, I know what you're wanting to say, and all I can tell you is what I'm thinking in my mind. I would have to go to confession to cleanse what I'm thinking about you right now.
Because I was watching your games last night.
Oops.
Did you over? I think you overed.
No,
No.
1 for 2.
Oh, he won.
One and two.
Did he win the hockey game?
Yep.
Florida
Yeah,
Panthers.
okay.
God bless them.
The Lakers, though, they were nearly minus 200 favorites to beat the Timberwolves, so the betting public took a blow there in that series. But the T-Wolves move on in the NBA. Also, St. John's and Rick Pitino are set to face Kentucky this season for the first time. This is Rick Pitino specifically for the first time since 2016. St. John's is replacing UCLA in the CBS Sports Classic. They'll face the Cats next season on December the 20th. It's a 4-team doubleheader. You got North Carolina, Ohio State, Kentucky, and UCLA. Again, Pitino against his former school and player in Kentucky coach Mark Pope. That should be fun.
Yeah. Okay, we done?
That's it.
Okay. We're going to go to the break. Kelly, your questions need to be a little bit shorter because around the bottom of the hour, we're going to try to open up the phones. Even though this is unusual, I want some questions and thoughts for Danny Evans, who loves taking your phone calls. So at the bottom of the hour, please respond. This is 94.9 The Fan.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling, they enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonnellyTimmons.com.
At Wilson Bank and Trust, we believe you shouldn't have to choose between personal service and digital solutions. As your local independent bank, we're proud to offer the relationships and trusted service you expect, along with the tools and technology that keep you moving forward. So whether you're growing a business, buying a home, or planning for the future, we're here to help. Because this isn't just where we work, it's where we live too. Wilson Bank and Trust, here to get you there. Member FDIC.
Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com. 1,000 trailers and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com.
Hey, this is Andrew Allegret, voice of Vanderbilt baseball. Hope you can join us all weekend long from Hawkins Field. It's a massive SEC showdown. Number 15 Vanderbilt, number 18 Alabama. All three games starting on Friday. 102.5 The Game.
Vanderbilt Athletics lives here on the Game Nashville Sports Network. It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
It is a beautiful day. It's going to be a little bit shorter. We're going to get out of here around the quarter of the hour, 3:45. The Sounds have a makeup caused by a rainout doubleheader tonight. And so, Kelly, as you say hello to Danny Evans, make it quick.
I don't want to belabor the point, but I got to ask this because I've got some questions. But like, are the fans out there apathetic in in Denver to the team? Like, how many people? Like, that's a beautiful stadium because I've been out there once before and it's beautiful. But like, what are the people like? Are they like done with it? They go to games. What's the situation with the fans?
Kelly, they're starting to not come to the ballpark. Their season ticket base is getting smaller, but more importantly, they're buying their tickets and they're not showing up at the ballpark, which causes concessions, parking, merchandise. I think Coloradans are still really thrilled to have a Major League Baseball team. A lot of them are transplants. They're from different parts of the country, and they go to see their favorite team, like the Cubs, the Dodgers, the Giants, the Red Sox come to town. You would not believe that ballpark. It's 80% for the other team. But their fan base is shrinking. And what they're doing is they're losing an entire segment of young fans because there's no reason to go to the ballpark. And I think what's going to happen here in the next couple of years is the ballpark will no longer be big enough and cool enough to bring fans to the ballpark. You have to be competitive. It's just the way entertainment and sports works. It hasn't happened quite yet, Kelly, but their attendance went from 10th to 15th, and now it's in around the 20th range. And I think once it gets in that area, the bottom line starts to be adversely affected.
So I was looking at some stuff, reading it, and there's two historic records that'll never be beat, I don't think, ever in Major League Baseball. Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hit streak. Bobby Witt's got 22, which he's one of the young stars of the league. The Kansas City Royals they're not playing very well. But then you got Aaron Judge, 427 going into May, and Ted Williams, the only guy that's hit over 400. And those records will never be broke, but like, it's pretty cool to see a young guy, 22-game hit streak, and then, Aaron Judge is kind of getting up there, but he's not up there yet. He's still a young guy, but I mean, 427, like, will 400 ever be gotten close to?
No, I don't think so. Gwynn, Carew, Brett did it. They came close. They hit in the 380s, 390s 25, 30 years ago. But here's the big change, Kelly. And for all the listeners, the game has changed so much in terms of bullpen deployment. So whereas in the past, DiMaggio would see one or two pitchers a game, and that's all he would see. Now, aside from the starter, you almost never get a second at bat against the same guy. And what it really does is it curtails your ability to stay hot. They're matching up with you. Think about it, Kelly. When DiMaggio was playing, they probably had 8 or 9 pitchers on the staff. Now they have 13. And they're mixing and matching to get Witt out in particular. So no, I don't think so. I think we've seen the DiMaggio run, and I don't think it's going to happen again. In fact, since Rose about 30 years ago, nobody's come close. So what I see is 400 being tough, almost impossible, and 56 being almost unachievable. And it just displays the excellence of Witt and Judge that they're even getting us to talk about it, because to do it at that level, Kelly, and to do what they're both doing is an extraordinary performance.
Yeah, that's a good point. So my last question, George, I'm going fast here. I know your guy is Shohei Ohtani. He going to pitch this year, and like, is it a bit like does he consider it a big deal to pitch? Does he obviously like pitching? I mean, I guess he does because he's come back after rehabbing for so long. But like, how good of a pitcher is he compared to the baseball player that he is?
Well, first of all, he is a baseball player. He is instinctive, athletic. I think he's the best baseball player we will ever see in our lifetime. Plus, he's the most unique. He's an elite offensive player, elite. But as a pitcher, he's a number 1 or a number 2 starter with velocity, with spin, with about 6 pitches, competitive. And Kelly, what he does is he bats first and he pitches. So he impacts his own starts unlike any pitcher in the history of the game. And one thing he does, guys, that's really amazing, he actually hits better in his starts than his non-starts. So he's out there crushing, stealing bases, and he's swinging the bat. Kelly, he's coming back. He's not far away. He's going to be there by mid-season. And what an addition to a club that amazingly has had 16 pitchers go on the disabled list this year. Yet, everybody talks about him being the elite team in the game. It's a real tribute to who they are. Adding him, oh man, it's so much fun to watch that man play baseball.
So before we go to the break, Bobby Witt extended today to 22 by way of a 3-run homer.
Mm-hmm.
Since Pete Rose's deal in 78, I think I'm right that Paul Molitor, when he got to 39 with the Brew Crew, I think that's the longest one we've had since then.
I think you're right, George. And I think it shows the change in the game right around that period where bullpens got deeper, got deployed differently. And, you know, Kelly, I mean, it's one thing to face a starter 3-4 times, but when you only get them twice, and then you got to get 3 other guys that you haven't seen very often, those at-bats are so hard. They're tough plate appearances. And George, I mean, listen to those names. Those are Hall of Fame caliber players.
Yes.
Every one of them. It's so hard to hit in 20 in a row. For him to do 23, that's a remarkable achievement. And this guy plays shortstop. I mean, this guy is a great, great player.
Baseball could really use right about now him to go on a tear and
I agree.
Get it to 40 and have the whole country start watching him every night. That's something I would love to see.
I mean, George, we haven't experienced in the social media era. We haven't had that sort of experience yet. A 400 run like Kelly asked, a hit game streak. We haven't seen that. We saw a little glimpse of the home run thing with him. Sosa and McGuire were before social media really hit. I think it would really elevate the game on a different platform.
Man, I'm rooting for it. I'm going to start paying a little more attention. Okay, most of you know it. We're out of here early tonight because of a Makeup Sounds doubleheader that will air around 3:45. It may be early, but if you can jump in now with your questions or comments for Danny, I'm asking you, go ahead and do it. 615-553-0933. Again, 615-553-0933. Billy, how else can they reach Danny?
Chat room is open on YouTube. It's just to the right of the screen. If you're watching there on your laptop or your phone, you can just swipe up on Twitter and Facebook. We usually get a bunch of these with Danny. We've already got one right now, so just fire them away. We'll get them over.
Beautiful. We're back in a moment. This is 94.9 The Fan.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
This is my buddy Stan Harrison from Apple Collision Centers. Recently, you've been talking to me about companies that have a fleet of trucks and they're always in need of repairs.
That's right, George. We understand that nobody likes to deal with the auto body repair process. We try to simplify that at our 3 convenient locations. We work with all major insurance companies. We help to ease the stress of the auto body repair process. We're located in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. If you need our services, please stop by and see us.
And how convenient that we have that in the background. Now, seriously, These are good folks. They do really good work. Give them a holler.
Nashville Sounds Baseball is back in Hit City for the 2025 season. Create a summer of memories at the ballpark with weekly giveaways, fireworks shows, and more. Tickets are on sale now.
Flat Rock Motor Club is a members-only driving resort combining a world-class racetrack with exquisite amenities. Located on 800 acres of pristine countryside in the heart of Tennessee, their elite 3.5-mile club track is surrounded by sweeping views of manicured rolling hills. The charm of Tennessee can be felt with every hill you climb. Whether your beverage of choice is sweet tea or whiskey, at their premier driving resort, you will experience a sophisticated blend of country elegance and southern hospitality. For more information, log on to flatrockmotorclub.com. flatrockmotorclub.com.
A lot of people want to define teams by singular performances.
Sports. Did he not go back into the game after that interception?
Let's get this turned around. And we're all saying, no, they don't.
Here.
You thought you were on your way.
Your sports live here.
On ESPN 94.9. The Fan.
And the Game Nashville Sports Network. It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
So with limited time, let's get right to it for Danny Evans. Let's start in Nolensville. Tony, say hello to the man.
Hello, Danny. It is a pleasure once again. I've got 2 or 3 things here I'm going to cover, and I'm going to be quick, George. First of all, my Cubbies are playing great, but last night in their game, a horrible incident occurred with a young man flipping over the railing in the 7th inning. I didn't know if you had an update on him. It was a horrible. He come out of his seat in excitement, and he went right over the railing. We've all probably seen it, and just prayers for that young man and everything. And like I say, it was in the Cubs Pirates game. So, and it touched a lot of players we saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a horrible thing last night at PNC Park. In fact, Chris in the YouTube chat asked a very similar question. And as I said to him, it's a shame when something like that happens. It might have been a mental health issue. And I just hate to see that come into play. But that ballpark is spectacular. One of the great things about that ballpark is the proximity to the playing surface. And what we saw last night was really tough. The last time I looked, that individual was in critical condition in a Pittsburgh hospital, and I wish him the best. It was horrible to watch.
We all do.
Absolutely. So, but and then, like I say, touching on the Kumar, I didn't know if you had a more recent update on him. Like I say, I don't know if this arm issue is ever going to work out for him. We all hope it does. But it was tough to see him go back on the injury list. And once again, and guys, touching on Aaron Judge, I'm sure y'all saw this, but maybe you did. He became the 5th player in history to end the month of April with at least 10 home runs and batting at least .425. So he's, the guy's worth his money. So thank you, Danny. Thank you, George. And Danny, maybe George have you get you one of those little fluffo mattress bobbleheads of George Plaster. They're really nice. See you, buddy.
The black market value.
Not much. And one of them, it looks like we've had some arm issues. One of them has an arm. One of them has an arm missing. So.
The gamers continue. I mean, you have to fight through it. Regarding what Tony just said, Judge is getting better, which is remarkable. He's getting better, guys. He's playing right field extremely well, and he's right now he's having an incredible season. Arguably, he might be having the best season by a right-handed hitter in the history of Major League Baseball. That's an amazing accomplishment.
Think about that. That is really saying something. Let's go down to Smyrna. Frank, you are next on 94.9 with Danny Evans.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Danny, good to talk to you again.
And you're happy. I know you're happy because your Reds are playing good.
No, he's not a Reds fan.
But I will see the Reds next week in Atlanta, but that's not actually why I called Danny. I am headed down to Atlanta tomorrow if I can survive Chattanooga and not have a complete meltdown. Kelly knows what I'm talking about there in St. George. I'm going to need it. My wife's already said she started praying because that we can get through there without me losing my mind or religion, which usually are gone by the time I get to the other side of Chattanooga. But anyhow, I'm headed to the Dodgers series in Atlanta. And last I heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, Danny, this Yamamoto is just amazing. Doesn't he lead Major League Baseball in some sort of stupid 1.0 something ERA? Is that still the case?
I tell you what, he's elite. I loved him in Japan. He was really good except for those first couple starts last year. His splitter, fastball, command, outstanding. One of the best athletes in the game, an elite fielder. For me, one of the best starting pitchers in the game, and he's 26 years old. I think it's been a great signing by the Dodgers, and Yamamoto, for me, is easily in the top 3 in the world as far as a starting pitcher. He is really, really good.
I am excited about seeing him as well as this series. You know, the Braves are, well, they're playing a whole lot better. Obviously, they're hitting the ball now well. Now that we got Kelnick back out of the Atlanta suburbs where he belongs in AAA, I think the Braves are coming around. I haven't heard an update on Acuna yet, but I hope to find something out while I'm down there. I'm going to try to ask a few people I know. But, you know, I've said for several weeks the Braves are going to be fine. There's too much talent there, and that they will start to hit. I think they're going to be okay. I just can't understand how Spencer Strider hurt a hamstring playing catch. Oh, goodness. I just don't understand that. And as for the young man in Pittsburgh last night, you know, that was really upsetting to watch for me. I, unfortunately, was in the stands in the Turner Field in Atlanta. It was 10 years ago when a gentleman fell out of the upper deck at the old Turner Field. They were playing the Yankees. And, you know, game was on national TV, and I happened to be there with my friends. Thankfully, my wife and daughter were not there with me, but it was still bad to see. And, you know, the gentleman, passed away. And it's just, in looking on ESPN's website, there's not a further update regarding this young man other than he's still in critical condition. So hopefully he will pull through, Lord willing. That's one of the things about baseball that happens from time to time, sadly, that you just don't ever want to see. You never want to see that.
Yeah.
And
agreed.
But anyway, like I say, to just hoping the Braves can find a way to win 2 out of 3. I was looking at the matchups this weekend: Sasaki versus Swellenbach Saturday night, and Dustin May and Bryce Elder Sunday night. And Bryce Elder's actually been good the last 2 games. I have hope for the Braves. I have hope. You know,
Frank and Joy, call me Monday. Let me know what it was like.
See, now everybody sees how difficult it is to run a ball club, because the way the Braves started, it had been easy to panic and make some real panic moves. But when you're really good like Alex, you don't panic. You fortify your club a little bit, and they've righted the ship. They're going to be just fine.
Real quickly, where's the Eli White story coming from? Because that's really helping them.
Yeah. Guys come out of nowhere sometimes, George. It's, he had the big home run to win the ball game, I think in the 8th inning one night. It was a huge hit. Kelly, I don't know about you, but once you get a little confidence, you start to think maybe I can compete here. Maybe I belong here. And I think part of it is a nurturing environment, a good clubhouse, which allows a young player to feel comfortable.
There's always that time as a professional athlete that you're like, I can do this. Like I remember my first Monday night game, and I'm like, this is just like you're not listening to John Madden and Al Michaels up there. You're playing football. You don't worry about that. It's just playing ball. And at some point, every professional athlete says, yeah, I can do this.
Billy, real quickly, what's the text question for Danny?
Well, he already got to it. He was referencing the incident, of course, and I think Danny referenced that. So, by the way, Kumar Rocker, I know Tony asked about Kumar Rocker. He starts mound work next week, so I saw that on Twitter just to get to Tony's question.
And George, for the fans, and I know time's short, I just love the questions and I love the chat. So whatever your format is, hit me on Thursdays, and I'm there for you.
Hey, thank you for doing it this way on short notice. Enjoy the festival. I like the dress code.
Yeah, and we're going to eat a whole lot of fudge this afternoon, gang. Let me tell you.
I love it.
Nice.
Thanks,
Have fun,
Danny.
guys. You got it. See you guys.
So, Billy, guess what we end the show with?
A little bet of the day. Brought to you by Bart Durham Injury Law. We take a look. We already talked about it, about what happened last night. It was a 1-for-3 night. Had a loss with the Lakers, -6, did not work. St. Louis, +170 didn't work either, but it got a win with Florida.
God bless the Panthers. So, Kelly, tonight we have 4 plays. You ready?
Yeah, sure.
4. That would be 4. Okay, I'm going with the Pistons tonight. I think Detroit, first of all, I worry, even though I want the Knicks to win the series, I think they're running on empty. I think their tank has gotten way too empty, way too early. Detroit forces a game 7 with a win tonight at home. Got 3 hockey plays. Ottawa at home against Toronto. What do I know about Ottawa? They wear red. By the way, that's a really intense series. The 2 Canadian cities going at it. If Toronto loses this series, oh my goodness, those people in Toronto will go crazy. But I think Ottawa's going to force a game 7. Now, here's my big upset special. The Fighting Craig Leopolds, who are a huge underdog at home against Vegas, win tonight. Why? Because they've played Vegas tough throughout this series. This line ought to be 125. Instead, it's 160. You can get some real value with the Wild. If it doesn't work, don't call me. And then last but not least, Kelly, the Kings have seen their better days. They needed to win 2 nights ago, and when they didn't, it opens the door, and Edmonton is going to close the door tonight at home, and they're going to win the series. Book it.
Good luck on those, George. Good luck.
Yeah. No, we're just booking that last one.
Oh, yeah. Well, it doesn't matter. Good luck, though. I'm going to be watching, because last night I was watching, and I had a little smirk on my face.
I don't like your attitude at all.
See, I forgot you picked Florida. I didn't realize you picked 3. I thought it was 2.
Yeah. You're not with us tomorrow.
I am not.
Yeah.
I know you're going to miss me. I know you and Billy miss me.
See you Monday.
See y'all.
Billy?
I will be here tomorrow.
Yes, you, on the other hand, will work for pay. Okay, we're done. Shortest show in the history of short shows. Out of here. Stay tuned. Jeff Him, who is really good, will have Nashville Sounds play-by-play activity on 94.9 The Fan.